Every morning, just after the sun breaks through the fog that clings to the city's oldest park, she is there. Always in the same place, always at the same time. The woman with the navy blue coat and the faraway eyes. She sits on the wooden bench nearest the lake, holding a paper cup of coffee she barely drinks, staring into a silence so dense it feels like it could swallow anything that dares approach. For weeks, I've crossed that path during my morning walk, stealing glances at her profile. The elegant line of her jaw, the tension in her shoulders, the way her fingers press gently around the rim of her cup, as if grounding herself in something only she can feel. And before today, I never had the courage to stop, to speak, to interrupt whatever invisible world she was lost inside. But something about this morning feels different. Electric, almost. Faded. And if you're listening to this story, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like, and comment so more women like us can find these sapphic tales. Now, let me tell you what happened next. I slow my steps as I approach the bench. My heartbeat feels louder than the rustling leaves overhead. The woman is looking down, turning a silver ring on her index finger over and over, like a habit she no longer thinks about. I tell myself I'll just say, "Good morning," just that. But deep inside, I know that isn't true. I want to know her name, her story, the reason she sits alone every day as if waiting for something carved out of memory. I want to know why her loneliness feels so familiar. "Good morning," I say, gently, trying not to startle her. Her head lifts slowly, her eyes adjusting to me like she's waking from a dream she didn't choose to leave. There's a softness there, not fragile, but tired. A tired that comes from loving something you lost too soon. She nods. "Good morning." Her voice is low, warm, but edged with something unspoken. I hesitate only for a breath, then sit on the opposite end of the bench, leaving enough space to be polite, but close enough to feel the faint heat of her presence in the cool morning air. A breeze ripples the surface of the lake, sending a line of silver across the water. Neither of us speaks for a moment, but it doesn't feel uncomfortable, more like a silence that's waiting to be understood. "You come here every morning," I say, attempting lightness. A tiny smile touches her lips. "And you always walk through here every morning." She noticed me. The thought sends a warm pulse through my chest. "You always look like you're thinking about something important," she adds. "And you always look like you're thinking about something painful," I reply, before I can stop myself. She freezes for a second, her fingers pausing on the ring like a habit. "I suppose that's true." I watch her for a moment, the way her gaze returns to the lake as if it holds a truth she can't face directly. "Do you wait for someone?" I ask, quietly. She inhales, slow and deep as though pulling air through a tight space. "Not exactly," she whispers. "I used to." It feels like a confession, and I don't want to push her, but she continues on her own. This was her favorite place. We used to come here on Sunday mornings. She loved watching the ducks. Her voice cracks at the edges of the word she. My chest tightens. "She?" I ask, softly. This time she doesn't hesitate. She looks right at me. "Yes." There's a shift in the air, something intimate, honest, fragile. She isn't hiding, not from me. The pain in her eyes is unmistakable, but so is the courage it took to say it aloud. "I'm sorry," I say. She nods, a thank you buried in the gesture. Without thinking too much, I pull a second cup of coffee from my coat pocket. I wasn't sure why I grabbed two this morning. Maybe some part of me knew. "I brought this in case you wanted another." Her eyebrows lift, surprised. She takes it, and when our fingers touch, even briefly, a spark runs through me. Her warmth lingers against my skin long after she draws her hand back. "Thank you," she says quietly. We sit in an orbit of shared silence for a moment until she speaks again. "I'm Helena." Maya, I reply. The names settle softly between us, like two pieces of something long separated finding their way back. Helena traces the edge of her cup with one finger. Maya, why did you stop today? The question holds more weight than it seems. I swallow, aware of my pulse. Because you always look like you're carrying too much alone. Her eyes shimmer, not with tears, but with recognition. And you? Do you carry things alone too? Maybe, I admit. We both turn toward the lake again as if it's easier to confess to the water than to each other. I lost someone, Helena says, voice trembling at the edges. How long? I ask. 2 years. The grief is still fresh, still carved into her posture. I'm sorry, I say again. She nods, but her eyes remain fixed on the ripples. She was the kindest person I ever knew, and her breath catches. I didn't get to say goodbye the way I wanted to. She tells me about the woman, Anna, and their quiet mornings, shared books, soft laughter, the way Anna would tuck her hair behind her ear when she was trying not to cry, the way Helena fell in love slowly, then all at once, the way everything collapsed too soon. And I listen, not just with empathy, but with a strange ache of envy. Helena loved deeply, truly. Such love leaves echoes. I tell her a little bit about myself too, that I'm a freelance illustrator, that I come to this park to think, that I moved to the city last year and still feel like I'm searching for a place that feels like mine. She listens with the same softness I offered her. You seem lonely too, she says gently. Maybe, I confess, but sitting next to you, I feel less so. Helena looks at me with a slow, assessing gaze, the kind that sees more than you intend to reveal. You're kind, she says. You deserve kindness, I answer. Her breath hitches at that, and she looks away quickly as if steadying herself. The sun finally breaks through the clouds, painting the water gold. Light touches Helena's cheeks, highlighting the curve of her face. She seems softer under the sunlight, more alive, more reachable. I feel suddenly, overwhelmingly drawn to her, not just to her beauty, but to her sorrow, her courage, her quiet strength. Helena, I say softly, would it be okay if I sit with you again tomorrow? She hesitates, turning the ring once, twice, 3 times. Then she looks at me, really looks at me, with eyes that hold a fragile hope she's afraid to name. Yes, she whispers. I think I'd like that. Something shifts in Helena's expression, a spark of something almost like relief, or maybe anticipation. You make the morning feel different, she admits. How? Less heavy, less trapped in the past. We talk a little more about books, art, coffee, the strange comfort of routine, tiny things, beautiful things. When she smiles, even briefly, it feels like the season changes. I memorize that smile without meaning to. Eventually, she checks her watch. I should go, she says, reluctant. Okay. We both stand. For a moment, neither of us moves. Then she offers her hand, a simple gesture. But when our palms meet, warmth floods my chest. Thank you for sitting with me, she murmurs. Thank you for letting me, I reply. We walk in opposite directions, but I can feel her presence lingering behind me like a soft echo. As I glance back, she's glancing back too. Our eyes meet one last time, and something unspoken passes between us. Not a promise, but an invitation. The next day, I know I'll return to that same bench, and I know she will too. Not because of routine, but because somewhere between grief and quiet mornings, Helena found space for someone new to sit beside her. And somewhere between longing and curiosity, I found someone worth returning to. If you felt this story the way I did while writing it, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share so more Sapphic women can discover these stories and maybe find themselves reflected in them.